Hi everyone, Shane here. Thought I'd make a video on bridge cameras, namely this Nikon p900 that I recently acquired, possibly about 8 weeks ago. I will show you some pictures in a moment of things I've taken with this through my bedroom window, because I've only been out the house once since I purchased this camera. I paid, I think it was £300 for it from eBay, and basically the reason I come to buy one of these cameras, I've always overlooked bridge cameras in the past, never given them a second thought. I basically listened to the hype of, oh, it's only got a very small sensor, like a cell phone, you may as well just use your cell phone, and comments like that in the past on videos that I've seen, so I've always overlooked them. But last summer I was out with a wife, I got a big bag on my back, 2 camera bodies and about 6 lenses, trying to get some images of wildlife, birds, deer, anything going really, what I've never taken a photo of before. I've been into me photography for 40 years. I'm 60 years of age now, and I started when I was 20. The first cameras I had for the first 3 years were fully manual focus. Everything was totally manual, no program modes in them days, no internet. We're going back a long time ago. Anyway, I overlooked these cameras, totally didn't give them a second thought till last summer. It was about 25 degrees, and I was walking around a country park with the wife and the dog, and with this big I had a tripod strapped to the bag. I never use a tripod, in fact I actually left it in one of the observation huts. Luckily for me, an honest lady came out and said, "Is this your tripod?" It was brand new. I literally, it was only 2 days old. I will do a review on that tripod, although I've never actually used it yet. But going back to the camera anyway, I thought, well, I don't fancy lugging all this stuff about. I suppose I could just get one camera and one decent Leica lens for my G9. I've got a Panasonic DMC G9. If everything goes right this year, I may get a G9 too, because I like the new auto focusing system on it, but that's another story. Getting back to this, so I didn't really want to lug all this heavy stuff around. It was just a pain, it was a real pain. So I thought, I'll watch a few videos and get the general census of how good or bad these cameras are, and I came across Peter Hoyle's YouTube video channel. Watched quite a few of his videos and I was really impressed, and I thought, these cameras are knocking on now. They're 10 years old, 11 years old, so you pick them up a snip of the original selling price, the brand new price. Now on this one, this super zoom as you might call it, it's 24mm to 2000 equivalent to a 35 film camera, so it's one hell of a lens. And all the photos, every photo that you see on screen in a moment has been handheld by me, basically just holding the camera as steady as I can, boom. 90% of all the pictures, or possibly 95% of every picture you're going to see, has been taken in the back bedroom through a double glazed window, which occasionally sadly has got reflections. We get all sorts of wildlife, right down to rats, because I live opposite fields and a canal, so there's always going to be rats, you know, looking around for food, especially this time of the year. It's winter at the moment. Now it's too cold, there's nothing particularly I want to go out for. My health's not that brilliant sometimes. When the weather picks up, we're in January now, about January 20th, 25th, somewhere around there, but when the weather picks up, I intend to get out and about. Now this little camera here is not that big. Some people go, oh, it's a massive camera. It's not that big, it really isn't, considering the capability of a 2000mm lens. I'll put some close-ups on while I'm talking of this actual camera that I paid £300 for. It hasn't got a mark on it, it hasn't got a scratch on it. It really hasn't. Doesn't matter where you look on the thing, it's very, very, very clean. And I was that impressed with this one, with the small sensor. I started doing a bit more research, And then I bought this one, which is the FZ1000 Lumix. This is the Panasonic Lumix DMC FZ1000 with a, well, a Leica lens fitted allegedly to the front. But that's a video for another time. But I'm not as impressed with this camera. Excuse me. I'm not as impressed with this Lumix as I am with the Nikon, to be quite honest. I won't go into all the differences because it's not about the Lumix, but I'm more impressed with the Nikon. I will do a comparison the next video, maybe, if anybody wants me to do it. It's only my opinion. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. But my next video I'll do on the Lumix FZ1000. I'll do a comparison between the Nikon. But anyway, back to the Nikon. Let's have a look at some pictures. So this is the window I normally stand at to take the photographs. You wouldn't think they'd be that clever, considering I'm photographing through glass that's got a lot of rain on it every other day, it seems, at the moment. But not a massive garden. I think it's about 70 feet by 80 feet. But that there is where I get most of my nice pictures from, what I'm going to show you now. Nice in my opinion. There's a little blackbird at the top there, look, just flying away. Well, let's have a look. So to give an idea of how good or powerful the zoom is, handheld at 2000mm, looking through the glass there, I've circled with a black circle, zoomed right in on this head of a, well, it's not a flower, it's a bush. So from the 28mm, not quite full out at 24, but from 28 all the way into 2000mm, that's what you get. It's quite impressive. I will show you some comparison video pictures as we go through the video. This magpie picture is in good contrast because the sun was high in the sky. It was midday on one of the very few sunny days that we've had lately. But it does give good contrast with the green and the blue of the sky. And it was a cloudless day that day. And I think the detail's quite good for handheld, 2000mm, stabled with, I believe I used my elbow as a sort of platform on the windowsill. But I have edited the picture to give it slight more contrast because I had a few reflections off the glass. And most of the pictures you'll see have been edited slightly, not massively, with photo affinity. And I will do a video at the end of this video, if anybody's still watching, to show the process I use for editing these JPEGs. And that's the difference in the p900 Nikon. It only does JPEGs, but I'm not too concerned about that. The p950 Nikon, I believe that does JPEG as well as a RAW file, but I'm not bothered at all in the least about that. I took this picture just 2 days after buying the camera, after it was delivered, through the window again, 2000mm or almost 2000mm handheld, and the robin was sat there, and he's always in the garden, this robin. I've got absolute stacks of photos of this this little character. But as you can see, I'm on UK Bird Lovers site on Facebook, and as you can see, I've got 730 likes. But I think people were being a bit generous because it was Christmas time. It was about a week before Christmas, so December the 20th, somewhere around there, when I uploaded the picture. But I've got loads and loads of pictures of this. Well, he looks like a cute little fella, but I have also got pictures of him being territorial, attacking other birds that he believes it's his food, that when I put the seed out every other day, I think he considers that most of it's his, and he gets a bit aggressive towards other small birds. And I've got some, I'll put a couple of blurred pictures up where he's coming in to sort of like shoo him away, because that's his spot and his food. But yeah, there you go. There's another very clear picture, JPEG, very slightly edited. Here he is, the robin, in action, trying to frighten away the other bird what's taking his food. He'll be have to be careful. He'll be getting an ASBO order on him. So another picture I uploaded to the UK Bird Lovers site was this well, I called it a common sparrow, but was corrected by many people. But it had 223 likes nevertheless, and I was corrected and told it's actually a dunnock, or what used to be known as a hedge sparrow. So I am learning through the process of taking pictures of birds. I'm actually learning the correct names for them. So this picture I took yesterday, 30th of January, Thursday the 30th, and a gang of these seem to sort of swarm round now and again, and they're fast flying. They're only on a perch for something like 2 or 3 seconds, so my success rate of actually getting pictures of these birds are pretty slim, to be honest. Out of every 10 pictures I'll probably get 2 good ones because they're just so fast flying. But a great tit here. But amongst the little pack I get of 6 or 7 birds, there's always a couple of blue tits, and if I can find a picture I'll put one of those on as well. Near 2000mm handheld through the glass, like all the rest of the pictures I've shown so far. I will show some where we had a cold spot in a moment, where it was -4 degrees in the daytime and about -7 at night time. That was a couple of weeks ago. Now here we have a couple of, we'll call them hedge sparrows. They might be dunnocks. I'll probably get told off by somebody. It was extremely cold, and what I haven't said yet in the video is I've left the camera in program mode. I've not bothered to use it in manual, aperture priority or shutter priority, and I've set my ISO to 400. It's never been other than 400 since I've owned a camera, and every picture you see has been taken in program. I don't see the point in messing about with things if the pictures look okay. If there's anything slightly off, I'll adjust it in the editing. But hopefully, after these pictures, on my ever first occasion, and my only occasion out with the camera, I'll show you some photos that I took in my half-hour little stint around the field where I used to live many years ago. So on my one occasion that I've been out so far with this camera, it was a very cold day. I noticed the moon was in the sky. It was 4 o'clock in the afternoon, so I pointed the camera up. You'll see an aeroplane, and then I zoomed in, 2000mm handheld, and then I continued on my little walk around. It was -3 at this point, and seeing this bench here gave me memories because I used to take my kids around this park area. This field when they were small. They're in their late 30s, and my daughter's actually 40 now, so where's that time gone? This lady was having a brisk walk with the 2 dogs. I started off at about 120mm, and then I zoomed right up to 2000mm, just to give you an idea. And she was totally oblivious to the fact that I was taking a picture of her. And every photo you've seen has been taken with the autofocus single position. I've not had reason to put it in manual focus, although you can if you want to. Through the wooded section on my walk, I came across these little gang of goldfinches, and there was about 6 of them very high up a tree, about 35 to 40 feet, and there were that many branches in the way. This is really the only clear shot I got. I was a bit disappointed because there were so many birds there. But as I say, there was that many branches and little, whatever they are, hanging down. I should know at my age, but like little berries that they were eating off. And I didn't sit still for more than 3 seconds. It was very difficult. It's probably my hardest shot I've taken so far, but I'll keep trying. I'm sure I'll persevere at some point to get a nice picture of a goldfinch. And it's my ambition this year to get a kingfisher picture. I've never had one of those yet, but I have got big plans in store for my birthday of going to a special place, but I'll talk about that in a later date video. But yeah, that's the only picture I've got of a goldfinch, but never mind, keep trying. I couldn't resist before heading home of taking a picture of this tree because it looks like it's overgrown, almost like the hedge. It needs a good trim, but it was desolate and standing there on its own. And then when I looked at the picture, and I decided it looked better in black and white. So that's been there. I remember that tree from years ago also, so it's memories for me. But it looks interesting to my eye, maybe not yours. To cap it off, when I returned home, this little fellow was there, so I took a picture of him. Bit of a pity about the light bulb in the background, but what can you do? We get all sorts of visitors in our garden, fur and feathered variety. But I think you've got some idea now of how good or bad this camera is and whether it would be suitable for you buying an old Nikon p900 bridge camera. But I'll show you I'll show you the way that I go about editing these pictures, because some of them need slight editing because they're lacking contrast because of the reflection in the window now and again. But I think once I get outdoors in the summer, I'll hardly touch the pictures at all because the contrast will be good to start with without any problem. But here's a comparison: 24mm, and then I'll zoom right up to 2000, standing in the same position. That gives you an idea of the zoom lens again. And this is what I do my editing with, Photo Affinity 2, and I'm really impressed with it. Some say it's better than Photoshop, but that's down to your personal opinion. Here's a robin picture I took, and I'll just show you the process that I actually use to edit pictures what are a little bit thin and lacking in contrast because of the glare off the window or reflections. But this is the process. I'm doing it fairly quick at this point. I don't edit all the pictures. It depends what angle I'm actually photographing the bird at. Sometimes when it's really dark in the room and it's dull outside, I don't get that many reflections. But I don't use the histogram. I possibly should use the histogram. I do it all by eye. So I alter the contrast to brightness slightly. Then I'll go up to the filters, to the frequency separation part. I duplicate the picture first. You have to do that. And then I'll cut the low part of the filter out. And as you'll see in a moment, when I click on and off the part of the filter, you'll see it go slightly clearer. So then I flatten the document, and then I usually save it. And I don't do that much sort of editing to them. I just do mild editing to the JPEGs. But as I say, once I'm outdoors, I'll hardly have to touch the pictures. So I am impressed with the JPEGs, and all my other cameras are set to JPEGs because I can't be bothered to sit there editing pictures. And if that's what you've got to do, then in my opinion, there's something wrong with the pictures in the first place. I know people shoot RAWs and say if you've blown out the highlights or whatever, you can regain a lot of it, but you can still regain quite a lot of stuff in a JPEG as long as it's not too far off the mark. And if you go out on a session of shooting and you shoot, I don't know, 50 or 60 or possibly more pictures, that's a lot of editing to do, and a long part of your day's gone. And life's getting short when you get to my age, and you don't want to sit there for hours editing pictures. I don't anyway. I'd rather sit there and do a quick 1 minute job, presentable picture, job done. There's something vastly wrong if you've got to sit there for a hell of a long time readjusting pictures that clearly weren't taken correctly in the first place, I would guess. Thanks for watching the video. Hopefully you found it a little bit entertaining. If you've got a point of view or you think the pictures look rubbish, put it in the comments below. Be respectful. You know, there's a lot of comedians about these days. There's some genuine nice people. If you want to say something negative, I don't mind that at all. I really don't. But take care till the next one. And as I said earlier, the next video will possibly be this Lumix FZ1000 as a comparison against the Nikon p900. Take care till the next one. Thank you very much. Bye for now.